would you rather spend $100,000 on yourself, or would you rather give that $100,000 to the government? I'm doing things in my business, right? I'm not paying the government $1. $1, I ain't doing it. To be able to avoid those taxes that I've got to pay at the end of the year, because honestly, in my opinion, it's a waste of money. But to some other people, you know, that may be a very touchy subject to even talk about. But I could tell you right now, if I get anybody in front of me, say, hey, would you rather spend $100,000 on yourself, or would you rather give that $100,000 to the government? All day, every day, they're going to say myself, man.
Yeah.
What can I do to spend that $100,000 on myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. You know, he just needs something that break even, do some cost segs on, right? And talk about that, you know, another time, or, you know, we can get into it or whatever else. But he called me because he saw me, you know, online, and he knew I was a guy to go to and knew what I was doing, and that filled, right? And that's just, it's very helpful. And investors are, it's interesting. Investors are a different mindset than your regular homeowner, right? Your regular homeowner, they've got a family, right? They're looking for their forever home. They've got very emotional attachment pieces to it, right? And it's a different conversation. It's a different feeling when you're with them, right? Take a much different approach when I'm with them versus, you know, working with investors. Dude, a lot of these investors, man, are just like good old boys, right?
Yeah.
Or women, right? They're just cussing left and right. It's like, oh, we got to get this, or we got to do this. I'll say this. Like, you could just really, truly be yourself, and just kind of, it's not very businessy at all. You know, at least investors around here, maybe California is different, man. Probably dressed to the T, man, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're kind of your typical profile of a real estate investor. It's super similar, because it's, you just meet people that get it and people that don't.
Yeah.
Like, you get people that understand that real estate has this intrinsic value. They really understand the adage, like, you know, they're not making more land, that kind of thing. And they just get that you're trying to add value. And if you can create value, you can create wealth. But did you said probably like 3 or 4 things that I'm like, I want to get into that more. I want to get into that more. And I'm like, wait, we gotta
stop talking, Scott.
I'm just trying to make all these mental notes. So like, we gotta come back to that.
Oh yeah. No, we could open up to anything. Whatever.
Dude, I think the one you just said,
taxes, cost seg.
Taxes. Taxes is a great thing to kind of jump into, because I do. That was one of the big things we got into when we had lunch, and I followed up with the accountant you sent me.
Oh yeah. Did you talk to her like on the phone or whatever?
We're doing the document exchange. We're figuring stuff out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
she's a little expensive, man, but she's a badass. Dude,
I mean, I
freaking love her, and I told you how much I saved with her, man. It's crazy.
A CPA that can help you actually
make your dreams come true.
Yeah, come up with your tax strategy, as opposed to just like, oh, well, just call me at the end of the year and send me your income statement. That's how almost every CPA I met, 95% of CPAs are that way, where they don't want to be involved on the strategy side at all. They're just like, hey, I'm here to help you do your filings at the end of the year.
When you get a strategist, that's what you want.
That's the difference. I think they can be worth their weight in gold. So really appreciate that referral.
No problem.
But that tax thing, when it comes to, because that's something I feel like I spend a lot of my time explaining to investors that, you know, that call us, that are like, hey, I want to get into the indie market. And some of them already have that mindset, like that guy in Carlsbad that's like, hey, you know, I don't care if it even just breaks even. Like, I want something that can, you know, help me, you know, mitigate my taxes. And something you said on the kind of the philosophical level when it comes to taxes, like, I agree with you, but I think I phrase it a little bit differently when it's the like, I want to avoid paying taxes. I want to avoid having a tax bill. And, you know, my thought is like, it's it's not even just, I could say that, like, if I'm very strategic in my taxes and not paying taxes, I'm doing it for me. Like, I am doing it for me. It helps you build wealth faster. But at the same time, like, the tax code is written the way it is for a reason. So that's my big thing with people. It's like, hey, people that strategically avoid taxes, but do so the legal way according to the tax code. You know, they work with a CPA that knows what they're doing, that says, hey, if you buy this rental property, if you do a cost segregation study, like, you can, you know, bonus depreciate all of this. The government wants you to do that. That's why it's in the tax code.
Yes.
So you and the government are partners.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
That's true. Because we're still, hey, because I still got to buy, man. I'm still stimulating the economy.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the thing. It's like, I always, the people that kind of have that attitude of, I just pay my taxes, and I wish, these people that are building wealth, like they should pay their fair share of taxes. Like they're doing exactly what the government wants them to do.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I think people miss is like the government wants people to invest in real estate and help us homestead this nation.
Yeah.
We're not Europe. America's still got a lot of open land. Right. And
but I mean, it's also too. It's just like you don't know what you don't know, and to go off of like the front of the conversation that we had, right? Is like the more you know, right? The more people you know, the more tax gallons you know, right? The more you can do with those tools. And you're right. Like I was talking to a couple people the other day that I don't know. I asked them. I said, "Hey, how much are you paying the government this year? Because we're getting close to the deadline. For 2025, if you don't buy stuff now till December 31st, like you're screwed, right? So for me, that same tax account that I sent you, I still have to buy a $400,000 to $500,000 house before the end of the year. You got to pay cash because you can't get a loan now, right?
Nope,
too late. But the deals are so slim. Either way, I was talking to these people. I was like, "How much you paying the government?" Oh no, it was just this morning. "How much you paying the government?" They said about 100 and 115 this year, right? I said, "Dude, are you okay with that? Like, do you like that?" And everybody's conversation, no. I'm just like, so this is what you got to do. Like, there are steps to this process, right? Where if you're in real estate and you're okay, and it doesn't even have to be real estate, right? Like it can be whatever industry or business, but the easiest thing to penetrate and get into is you go buy a freaking rental, right? Rent it out, cost seg it, and save a ton of money at the end of the year on your taxes. So just your regular W-2 employee can do this, okay? Like you work at
Salesforce.
Lily. Perfect. Well, I don't know what your taxes are. Maybe you make $100,000 a year and your taxes are 30%, right? So 30 grand, right? You can go buy a rental and not pay 30 grand. Have that asset that's making you money month over month, year over year, right? And even at that, honestly, if you go buy a rental, like you're probably going to get a tax return because that rental is going to be way more than 30K is worth, right?
Yeah.
So there's just like little strategies about that. Like a lot of people don't know, and it's scary, right? Like just investing is scary to a lot of people that you don't know. I mean, when I was before college or before I started investing, or, when I bought my first rental, lived into it, fixed it up, then rent it out, like, dude, it was scary to me because I had no money. I was broke. Broke a little baby, man. I'm making nothing. Okay. But when you learn about it, and there's a piece to it too, like, dude, sometimes when people struggle a little bit, you learn how to do things your way, how to do things that save money, how to do things that set you up for a little bit more success each time, right?
Yeah.
But going back to taxes, right? It's a very simple process, and these different methods to save money. It's like, I feel like everybody wants to do it if they knew how to do it, right? And people like you or I, or you and I, right, that know this information, that's where we can really expand our business, whether it's in real estate or rentals or whatever else.
Yeah.
Right.
And taxes to me are it's one of those things, like I wouldn't claim to be an expert on I don't know the tax code like the back of my hand, but it's one of those things where if you are a business owner, or even if you're just a high earner, a W-2 person, you got a responsibility to figure out, just where is your money going, and work with an expert to do that. Like you got to find, you should have a sense of urgency for finding somebody who can help you navigate the tax code, because I think everybody's got things out there that if they only knew. If they only knew what they, the advantages they
it helps them. And, again, it helps us, right, in the real estate world too. So a lot of my investors now, I've got like 5 major investors, and we're probably every other month we're buying something, but it's not buying to have it, or it's buying to just because, right? It's buying for a strategy and not to have to pay these hefty fees at the end of the year, right?
Man, I'll say this. I know you said, oh, this could be one of those things that's a little controversial. Like I'll take it even more more macroeconomic, political. I'm not scared. Like I mean, because I think
he's gonna lose me with the politics. I'm like, I don't even know. I've never heard this.
I mean, this is, I'm teasing it, but
No,
I think
throw it out. Say it with your chest.
I think there's like there needs to be more people that are thinking really strategically about their taxes. Because you mentioned like your friend who's like, what'd you pay in taxes? Oh, I paid $115. Like, are you okay with that? Are you okay that just this portion of your hard-earned revenue is just kind of being given to the tax authorities? And I would, because I want to follow that money. Where does that? So that money goes to all of these different programs, and you might think those programs are a really positive thing, or you might not, depending on where you fall on that sort of political spectrum and the tax allocation. But I think that it might be a populist belief, like this isn't super. I think people on both sides of the political aisle would agree that they don't necessarily want all these tax incentives being given to the top 1%, like these big corporations, and they receive tax incentives all the time. Hey, hey Amazon, we want you to build a plant here. Bring more jobs here. We'll give you all these tax benefits, and they're using to create infrastructure for these mega corporations. They're using our tax dollars. They're using tax dollars of people that are doing W-2 who are not making those. Really, what we help people do is, I would consider on a macro level, like we're doing micro investments, right? We're helping people buy small multifamily, single family properties, creating, kind of carving out a little chunk of the pie for themselves. And if more people are doing that, it means there's less going to the mega corporations. So if you really want more income equality, more wealth equality, you always hear people talking about the wealth gap. Like, if we want to shrink that wealth gap, we need more people on the lower side to grab a piece. Otherwise, that piece is going somewhere. And guess what? It's going to the 1%. You can check out our full library of episodes wherever you get your podcasts.